Welcome to Heart and Soul Sunday, everyone. I'm so glad you chose to be here and to give yourself this time today. Heart and Soul Sunday was really created as a space where women can just step out of the roles that they carry for everyone else and return to themselves. A place to relax, to breathe, to reconnect with the truth of who you are. So, for the next hour or for our time together, you don't need to be anyone but yourself. Our topic today is your inner frequency. Choosing the energy you want to live from. So many of us are careful about, what we eat. We pay attention to our schedules and, we try to protect our time and our finances, but very few of us have been taught to protect our energy, to notice what we're absorbing, and to ask ourselves, is this the energy I want to be living from? This is what today is about. So before we begin, I want you to just silence your notifications and minimize your distractions. Get a journal and pen ready nearby for you to take notes. This is a judgment-free zone. Take what resonates and leave the rest, and just allow this time to be yours. So let's begin by arriving fully in this moment. Start in the body because your energy is something you feel before you think it. So I want you to get comfortable wherever you are. Place your feet on the floor and let your body be supported. And take a slow breath in and exhale. Take a breath in through the nose and exhale through the mouth. And each time you breathe, let your shoulders soften and let your jaw unclench. Let your body release. You don't have to fix anything in this moment, and you don't have to figure anything out. Just notice where you are and ask silently, what energy did I bring into this space today? And this is not from a place of judgment. Like, don't judge it. Just notice. Maybe you're a little bit tired. Maybe you have some scattered energy. Maybe you're feeling hopeful. All of it is welcome. So take one more breath and then gently open your eyes whenever you're ready. So I'm going to get into just explaining a little bit about what inner frequency is. It's that emotional and energetic state that you live from most of the time. And it's the inner atmosphere that you carry through your day. It really shapes how you enter a room, how you respond to stress, how quickly you can recover from something that feels difficult, that takes you out of your presence, and how available you are to joy, connection, and peace. And you already understand frequency. You just may not have called it that. When you walk into a room where people have just had an argument, you feel it. And when you walk into a peaceful space, you feel it. Ever open your inbox and see a demanding message? You feel it. You scroll online for 15 minutes and then you absorb everyone's opinions and fears and outrage, and you feel it. Our bodies are always listening, and our nervous systems are constantly receiving information. I want to take you back to a few years ago when I was still, very much entrenched in the corporate world. I started to notice how agitated I would be. at home in the evening after watching the news or cable news media on that repetitive feed. And we had a thing where my husband and I would watch the news during dinner. Let me tell you, that is one of the worst things that you can do for your nervous system or your digestive system for that matter. Because without realizing it, we would always seem to mm, pick up that negative energy. And by the end of the day, I would feel so heavy. Not in a physically exhausted kind of way, but just energetically overloaded with like this underlying waves of anxiety. I was careful about what I was putting into my body, what I was eating. I nurtured my relationships. I gave attention to things like finances, right? But I was not protecting my energy. I was letting everything in. And that was the beginning of a different kind of awareness for me. And today we're going to explore this together. I'm going to invite you to complete this sentence in your journal. So I'm going to give you a few seconds to pick up your journal, open it to an open page, and reflect on this question. Lately, I've been consuming more blank than I realize. And I'll give you some examples. It could be, noise. It could be fear. It could be comparison or pressure or urgency, or just something like other people's expectations. So I invite you to complete that sentence for yourself. And of course, it doesn't need to be polished. Just let it flow from the deepest part of you. And next, I want you to draw 3 circles. In the first circle, I want you to write the things I cannot control. Could be the news, the politics, other people's reactions, the economy, social media noise, family dynamics, other people's choices. These things can impact us, they can have an effect on us, but they're not where our power lives. In circle 2, I want you to write the things I can influence. Your boundaries, your routines, where you place your attention, how you prepare for your day. What do you do before you go to bed at night? How about how much people have access to you? This is where we can begin to really reclaim our agency because this is where we have our choice, right? And then for circle 3, I want you to write things I can choose, my response, my breath, how I talk to myself, the next right action, what I say yes to, could be what I say no to, or how quickly I come back to myself when I'm not present. This is where our power lives. It's not in controlling everything around us, but it's in learning how to lead ourselves from within. Now I'm going to take us through a visualization. And I want to invite you to close your eyes or soften your gaze, whatever works for you. And I want you to take a slow breath in through your nose and a long exhale through the mouth. Let's do that again. Let go. Let your body settle. Let the weight of the day just drop from your shoulders. You don't have to hold on to anything right now. And in your mind's eye, I want you to imagine yourself stepping into a quiet space. It might be a room with soft light, a place in nature, or just a sense of stillness that you recognize. Go wherever feels right for you. Now, I want you to invite the presence of your higher self, the part of you that's always known, not the you who's tired or who looks to others for what you're supposed to do, or the you who's managing everything, the you who's already whole and complete, the you who exists beneath all of the external noise. Notice what she looks like, how she stands, the energy she carries. She's not worried. She's not rushing. She's present. She has something to say to you today. It may come as a word, an image, a feeling, or just a quiet knowing. And just let whatever rises to come forward. Don't force it and don't judge it. And I want you to ask her, what is the energy you want me to live from this week? And listen. And when you're ready, take a slow breath and open your eyes. We affect one another. And this is not to place any blame. It's really just awareness. We've all felt the difference between someone who walks into a room with a grounded presence and someone who brings chaos or urgency or tension with them. And we've also been both of those people at different times, right? Sometimes we're the calm, and sometimes we're the storm. And the goal is not to be perfect, but to be aware. Because once we can notice the energy we're carrying, we can begin to choose differently. We can ask, is this mine? Do I want to keep carrying this? What would help me return to myself? What energy do you want to bring into this conversation, this room, this decision, this season? That's energetic self leadership. I'm going to give you another question to think about for your journal. And it should be a simple one. It's, when do you most feel like yourself? And I'm not saying the happiest version of you, or the most productive, or the most impressive, or the most useful. just most you in your body. It could be in nature, it could be near the water, listening to music, in a prayer, walking, gardening, creating art, laughing, cooking. For me, I never thought it would be cooking, but it's cooking now. Like, I love baking, and it puts me into a zone where I just feel like I'm creating love. It could be reading, it could be sitting in silence, it could be having a conversation with someone, it could be being with your pet, your dog, your cat. It could be when you're around your kids or your grandkids. It could be watching the sunrise, driving with your favorite music on, or just moving your body or dancing. These aren't random acts. These are your frequency anchors. They're the practices, the people, the places, the moments that help you return to your natural state, the version of you that feels most true. Yes. So now I'm going to invite you to return to your journal again. And I want you to make two columns. And in the first column, I want you to write what drains me. In the second column, I want you to write what nourishes me. And take about, 4 to 5 minutes to fill it out, or however long you need, right? You can always pause this video. But which side receives more of your attention each week? After it's complete, I want you to ask yourself that question. Which side receives more of my attention each week? And then ask yourself, what is this showing me? For me, um, things that drain me are overcommitting or, rushing from overcommitting, having a packed calendar and rushing from one thing to another without, giving myself some downtime. It could be replaying conversations in my head, especially when I didn't say what I really wanted to say, or that person didn't receive the message the way I wanted to share it. So then you're replaying the conversation in your head. I do that. It could be, trying to keep everyone happy. Oh, what do you need? What do you need? Without considering what I need. Yeah. And the things that nourish me are movement. Definitely movement, moving the body, music, sitting in silence, doing my little meditation in the morning and in the evening. That's like my reset time. Laughter. You cannot underestimate laughter. I join a laughter yoga class. It's every week on Tuesdays for 30 minutes. Her name's Kathy. Oh, can't remember her last name right now, but it's Kathy's Laughter Yoga Club, and it's so fun. Um, you can't underestimate laughing with your friends, getting together with your girlfriends and just going all out and having those deep belly laughs. Um, it's also being near water for me. I live near a pond and I love to walk around it. Not far from the ocean. I love the ocean. And just being near water just gives me this sense of nourishment, of calm, of peace. So think about, what that means for you. Yeah. And when you're done, you know, consider what are those habits that are quietly lowering your energy? And what's restoring you that you don't make enough room for? What are you giving too much of your attention to? And what energy have you kind of normalized that's actually draining you and taking more than it gives? And then I want you to consider one boundary that would immediately shift your inner frequency. What helps you come back after you feel stressed out? And protecting your peace doesn't mean cutting everyone off or avoiding hard conversations or isolating yourself. It just means becoming more discerning, noticing, noticing when your body is saying to you, this is too much. Protecting your peace means becoming responsible for your inner environment, for what's happening in here, all of it. And that's not the same as being controlling or controlling life or controlling others. It's really tending to that space within you, the space that you live from. So, in closing, I want you to think of one word that you're going to take away from, what you learned today or what you journaled about. And then think about one way that you're going to practice this energy this week. An example could be, my word is trust. My word is always trust. I can practice trusting myself by pausing before I say yes. Or it could be, my word is steadiness. I can practice steadiness by taking a few breaths before responding to something difficult or someone difficult. And as a weekly practice, you can try this. Each evening, you can ask yourself 3 questions. What raised my energy today? What drained my energy today? And then finally, what do I want more of tomorrow? And this has nothing to do with judging your day. This is not self-judgment. You're just gathering information. And that awareness is going to give you choice. And choice is where your power returns. So you don't have to wait for the world to become calm before you experience calm. You don't have to wait for everyone else to change before you protect your peace. You don't have to earn rest or joy or presence. Your inner world is the most important thing. And the energy you live in matters. The energy you bring into your relationships and your work and your home and your own body matters. So this week, I want you to notice what you're consuming. I want you to become more discerning about what you're taking on, what responsibilities you're taking on. Make sure it's yours and not someone else's. I want you to return to what nourishes you. And I want you to protect your peace without apology. This is the heart of the work that we do inside my PRISM program. It's called Personal Restoration and Inner Self-Mastery. And PRISM is an 8-week experience of rebuilding the relationship with yourself, recovering your inner authority, learning to lead your life from your own knowing rather than from external expectation. Now, if what we shared today, stirred something inside of you, I would be honored to support you. So thank you for being here and sharing this time with me today. Thank you for choosing yourself. From my heart to yours, I send you so much love. Have a beautiful week.